Hello and welcome back to Betting People with Alex Keeney of the Star Spangled Gamblers. Now, I want to talk strategies. I want to talk sort of life lessons of wagering and gambling. I also want to ask you a question which just came to mind, but do you ever wager at fixed odds anymore? Or is it all trades? Is it all ins and outs now?
The only fixed odds bets that I've ever made in my life were a couple miles from where I was born at Churchill Downs, home of the Kentucky Derby. But this is my only betting, wagering, gambling experience. Other than that, is politics.
I want to know sort of any philosophies that you might have regarding sort of wagering that I think might be useful to people on this podcast. Are there any sort of rules that you have, things that you absolutely stick to when you're doing this, or are you sort of much more flexible?
Oh, I would say my biggest weakness as a person is I'm a little bit too flexible. What are guiding principles? I would say be very leery of overreacting. Your instinct to panic when money is on the line, or to buy things that seem too good to be true. Like usually if you feel like you're panicking, or if you're buying into an opportunity that's too good to be true, most of the time that is exactly what is going on. Like that little piece, that little angel on my shoulders has saved me a lot of money, but sometimes I still ignore her.
Do you have any examples of that in particular markets?
Yeah. Someone out there is going to hear this and correct me, but I want to say when either John Conyers or John Dingell died/resigned in the state of Michigan. We're going like really, really deep into Americana here. Two of the longest serving members of Congress. There was a special election to replace that member of Congress. And I couldn't believe I was getting like 5 cents, 20 to 1 odds on the polling favorite to win the primary or something like that. Anyway, the point is that I bought in like the general election and not the special election, and the candidate hadn't filed. And that was by far the most egregious example. But there are a lot of times that happens. Last night in Arizona, I messed up. I sold some winning shares of crazy Kerry Lake in Arizona to be the governor, because I just didn't, I was just like, I can't handle the stress of like watching these election returns come in. Like I just want to go to sleep. So I sold my last stack of shares just because I wanted to go to bed. That's lazy, bro. Like that's panic. That's panic selling when Maricopa County isn't what you want it to be.
Well, just on that point, the timing point is really important, because people listening to this will put all different amounts of time. This will be the full-time job for some people watching.
Yeah.
Can you give us an example? Say as a percentage of your working week, how much time would you put into everything you'd call political gambling?
Maybe like 20 hours. Maybe more, to be honest. The thing is, though, it's like the reason why people are wrong when they say good guys finish last is like Star Spangled Gamblers would be an example. So Star Spangled Gamblers, you could like squint at it and say it was an educational product. We cover the news and help people bet on it, so people are getting educated or something. Obviously, like when you're cutting videos and stuff, you're not able to scrutinize some of the data that the people you're betting against are. But the good side is that people send you information too. So my process has changed over the last few years from like really getting into the weeds to sort of providing provocative content and, getting other smart traders to debate it with me. And like that's my process in life too. Like my process in life is to sort of think out loud, see how people respond, debate, and then reach a consensus. And I think a lot of great traders don't do that. I think a lot of great traders are just very confident in themselves. They're very comfortable to work alone and to emerge with great insights, and sometimes to never take credit or even be known. So, more than one way to skin a cat.
No, absolutely. Just on data, actually, I want to get into this, right? Because polling recently has had, I think, a lot of time in the spotlight, in the sense that people are now sort of watching pollsters, they're scrutinizing forecasts, whatever. They've always been scrutinized, but
right.
The stakes, it feels, have gotten a little higher. We had Brexit over here, which was, I think, fair to say, a polling miss, and that follows some general election polling misses. And in the US, I think I don't know how big a polling miss people you'd call Trump. I think it was way overblown in terms of like, oh, the pollsters got it wrong. Well, much more nuanced than that. How much stock do you put in forecasters? Are there any you follow in particular? Nate Silver seems to get it in the neck a lot more now than when I first came in, but would there be people like that you're always keeping an eye out for?
Yeah. I mean, I agree with you, and I don't, I haven't solved the problem yet. I know traders who go and conduct their own polls in contested areas because they're frankly trying to solve the problem for themselves. I tend to follow
quickly. Sorry to interrupt you mid-flow. How much might that cost them? Because polling in general, good polling is really expensive, and generally only media buy it. So
I mean, I don't think that they're, they possess the skills natively. They go to I don't know how much it costs them, but they seem to think that it's worth the price. But it's more driving to a random town in a random congressional district, doing a survey and trying to reach conclusions that they think that not only impacts maybe the state of California or a county in California, but 200 counties like it across the country that might swing elections. It's a different type of thinking, bro. It's not you and me. I mean, I follow the people who move markets, like I don't, they probably are more right than other people, but it's what traders respond to. So it's at least good to know that, so, Nate Silver, who's the guy, Robert Callahy over at the Trafalgar Group that people like to try and dunk on because he's like the MAGA pollster, but it's kind of been on a run lately.
I want to say I know who you're thinking of. No, I can't. I'm sorry. The only vaguely Trumpist pollster I know of, and I am so about to get this wrong. It's not Morning Consult. Is it Morning Consult? No,
I think it's Trafalgar Group.
I think it's Trafalgar Group.
Yeah. I follow what they do. Like they've got a following. The New York Times needle is better than advertised. You can get a pretty good idea of what's going on.
And so much of that data is so comprehensive and so worth having. So to continue.
Yeah. And I follow other traders, like follow, Sharko Rubio, follow IABVEC, follow, there's some really smart people who are as good as the quote unquote pros. And they're doing it explicitly for political betting.
Now, I know some other people will follow the likes of Predicted and other markets in the US to see if we can get the jump on basically information and market trends.
Yes.
You ever do vice versa for the international markets Predicted offer? Because there are lots of international markets on Predicted, including betting on not only leadership races here, I know, but also general elections, etc. So would you ever look at not just an exchange or a fixed odds person? Would you ever follow UK polls or analysts, anything like that?
Probably should, but I and most of the people I know are, try and stay up on what Betfair or, Star Sports or Smarkets has to say about anything. And maybe in the way of the global economy, beyond that, it's a call to William or it's a call to Shads or Mahdi or something like that to try and make sense of what, doesn't always translate across the ocean.
Flattered as ever. And as a part 2 closer, do you think that in general, political betting is going to become something which is now sort of even more international? Because as I speak, if I wanted to, I can go and seek out markets to bet on election in Brazil, and we've had betting on France, Australia, America, of course, is a given. Do you expect to see more growth in those areas? Because with something like Predict It, you're already betting on nearly everything you can in domestic US politics, and then you go to the other exchanges and you're already betting on sort of most of those stock options, stuff about inflation and the weather, etc.
So wait, are you asking like about predictive trading or American interest in wagering on foreign markets, or what's?
I guess American interest in wagering on foreign markets, really.
Bro, since when have Americans ever cared about what's going on in other parts of the world?
the Queen, pop culture, TV and film, and that's it.
Right. I mean, I think, I don't think you're ever going to find Americans who are passionate about what Emmanuel Macron's future is like, or if Sweden is going to exchange, Kurdish prisoners with Turkey to finish their NATO application. This is not shit that Americans care about. Like Taylor Swift, Americans care about Taylor Swift. NFTs, Americans care about we McDonald. Like, we do not care about this shit at all.
Well, you heard it there from the horse's mouth. Thank you very much, and we'll be back with part 3.